In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the little known feature of record your screen in Storyline. Not a lot of people know how to use it, but you're going to conquer it. A few simple steps and I'll get you up and running in no time. Let's get after it. Hey everybody, I am super pumped to show you this cool feature inside of Storyline. What does it allow you to do? It allows you to record your screen, but not just that. You can use that same recording to produce a lot of other things from within that e-learning software. It can allow you to produce a video on a single slide, allow you to then kind of convert that video into a view mode, try mode, and a test mode. I know it sounds confusing, but it's awesome. It allows you to create really interactive videos and right inside of Storyline. It's amazing. Let's take a look. Hey guys, and welcome. My name is Jesse. I'm here to show you how to use screen recording within Articulate Storyline 1. So let's get started. So down here is where I have my Storyline located. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Okay, it's popping up. Nice. So I'm going to try to make this very, very simple for you guys, okay? Because I know it can be daunting in the very beginning to use a software that you don't even understand, right? So, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and hit record screen. This is going to pop up. This is basically telling me what is going to be recorded, right? In this case, I'm going to be recording his face. I'm going to be recording that guy. I want to record everything that shows up on my screen here. So I'm going to hover over here of this little icon, and I'm going to double click that. And it automatically scales it to the size of my screen. I need something to record. So let me go to Google Chrome, and I'm going to type in Nike.com. Nike.com. I'm going to show you an example of how you can record clicks or whatnot, and how that video or that simulation can be used. Okay, so I'm not going to be recording audio in this one, but if you did want to, you would just select the specific microphone that you would be using. In this case, mine is the US 2x2, and you can see this little audio meter going up and down as I'm speaking. Right there. Okay, so in this case, like I said, we're not going to use audio. Make it very simple. I'm going to show you how to navigate to some shoes on the Nike website. Okay, so I'm going to hit this red dot. It's going to give me a countdown, and then we're going to start. Hey guys, so here's the Nike.com website. I wanted to show you guys my favorite type of shoe. So let's hover over men's. Let's go to running shoes. Yes, I'm really into running shoes. Okay, and the ones I'm looking for. This is the one that I wanted. Okay, excuse me. So let's click on that. Yeah, this looks awesome. Cool. Okay, I actually like. No, I like the black ones. Okay, so I've got the black ones. Now I am a size 9.5. Where are you? There you are. 9.5. Okay, I'm sold, guys. Let's go ahead and add this to the cart. Okay, not a bad price. Check out. Okay, so I'll stop it here. So what you're going to do is, once you've stopped recording what it is that you want to show your users, I'm going to go ahead and hit escape. And it's not working. Give me a second here. Let's troubleshoot this. So I'm in this mode, and I just hit escape a couple times. Okay, it's going to launch another one because I just clicked it, which is something we don't want, right? But this is good. This is good because this is on the fly. Let's go ahead and X out of that because it's launching a new Storyline file, right? So let's X out of that. All right, so what we need to do is we need to stop. You know what it is? It's Control S in order to quit. Yep, you see that? So even the pros trip up a little bit. So I had to hit Control S in order to stop the screen recording, right? I was trying to hit escape, which is not the way to go, okay? So it's saving it to 100%. Okay, it's taking its time. I imagine it's at least a couple minutes long. Okay, there you can see it, right? Now it's asking me this crazy question: insert as video on a single slide, step-by-step slides. What you want to do initially is say video on a single slide, and it's up to you whether you want to show the mouse on the show mouse cursor. I say you do, because you're gonna have the user navigate to certain things where you want them to click on, and that mouse serves as a visual cue as to where that point of origin, where it is that you're trying to show them where to click, right? I'm gonna say new scene, video scene, everything's fine, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit insert. Okay, once I hit insert, it's gonna do its thing. I'm actually gonna minimize this Nike.com website right now. Okay, so here we are. It's initializing a project. We're gonna let it take its time there. And like I said, I'm gonna try to make this very, very simple. A lot of people get confused on how difficult it may be or how much control can you have. But I must say, it's super powerful, super easy. You can do a lot of things. There's a couple tips and tricks that you may need to know in case you get tripped up on a couple things that may not necessarily work right off the bat. But you can manipulate those things on the other side of that coin, if you will, in post-production. So it's taking this time because I believe it's a little long, but that goes to show you, if you are recording something that's kind of long, say 2 to 3 minutes, as opposed to snippets, 30 seconds to a minute, the files are going to be bigger. So I would say just be patient. Just be patient. It's more important that you get things right. You take your time while you're doing the recording, and then you insert it, and you're 100% positive that it's going to be inserting a brand new video into a slide into Storyline 1. And don't be afraid, because you just capturing the screen recording, even though you've never used Storyline, once it inserts it into the scene, I'm going to walk you through step by step what you can do with that initial video. It's pretty powerful in the sense that it does a lot of the things that you don't anticipate or think it would be able to do in terms of control. One of the things is the fact that it can actually create captions for you as you're clicking on things, and you'll see that the AI, the artificial intelligence within Storyline, it'll read that you're clicking on certain things, but it may not label the captions the way you would want them. Sometimes it'll label something like click here as opposed to what the button's name actually is or what you want the user to see that as. And I'll show you in depth once I actually split up this first video into a step-by-step mode. There's a total of 4 steps that are very useful. It's up to you to really decide which one of those is most helpful to your user, because there's one where you can just like walk them through each step and guide them with the caption. Then another sort of phase, if you will, kind of guides them and they can click on certain things and they get those prompts or those captions that come up. I'd rather call them like hints, right? And when you do that, you see that you're having the user click on things and you're giving them hints, but at the same time, they're not necessarily being quizzed. There is a section, I think the last one, which is a step-by-step, where you quiz them, where you have the option of showing them captions or not, and you take them through each phase. The first phase or step would be them just watching the whole video without having any interaction with the video itself. Now it's already finished, it's populated, right? I'm gonna go ahead and make this full screen. As you can see, it says untitled slide, which is completely fine, right? This is video scene. All right, now what I'm gonna do is very simple. We recorded an action or series of actions, right? Then once I recorded it, I told Storyline, okay, I want you to put into a scene. This is a scene here. There's one slide inside of this scene. Now, when I double click this, I'm gonna come down here, and I think if I click this little icon here, it'll shrink everything into the page, right? And then if I say preview this slide, actually this scene, because there's only one slide in the scene, right? Okay, so it's gonna prepare the slide. I'm gonna preview it. I'm gonna make sure that what I recorded, in fact, is something that I want to be used later on. Okay, so I'm gonna move my mouse out of the way so it's not confusing. So you see that I'm going through certain things. It's like, okay, this is what Jesse was doing. Okay, he was gonna pick his favorite shoes. He went down and he took a look at a couple other shoes, but he really liked the black ones. You get the idea, right? So you're basically watching a video, but within Storyline. So let's go ahead and close this preview. And let's go to Story View. Okay. Now, the powerful thing is, once you've imported this in, you can go back, hit this little arrow, and it's already saved. Now, if I double click this, it's going to ask me a question. It's going to ask me, do you want to insert as a video on a single slide, show mouse cursor, which is something we already did. No, that's actually not what we want. This time we want step-by-step slides. Now notice, the options are going to change. You see that? So these are the different phases that I was talking to you about, right? So there's the view, the try, and the test. Okay? So let's go ahead and choose this first one, the view mode steps, with the same video that we used in the very beginning that we previewed, right? And we're going to say new scene, view scene, that's perfectly fine. We're going to go into view mode options. In here, I'm going to keep everything as is. I'm going to turn on all the bells and whistles so you can see exactly what happens whenever you select step-by-step slides. I'm going to add text captions, show mouse cursor, indicate clicks with highlight. Everything is all good there. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to say insert. Okay, so it's taking its time because the video's rather large. But back to what I was telling you before, that these captions really are powerful. I think by default they're blue. I think that in the end we should change those to red. That way it fits the Halliburton brand guidelines in terms of red as opposed to blue, which may be Baker Hughes. So try to keep everything copacetic in terms of the brand guidelines, if you will. So so far so good. We recorded something. You saw on the fly that I made a mistake. I tried to hit escape, which is not the right thing. It's Control S, okay, in order to stop it. So it's creating slide 9 of 32. Pay attention to that, because you see how it's creating all of these slides, separate slides within a brand new scene. Okay, what that means is that something as simple as what I recorded within the Nike website is being broken up into all of these individual scenes. This is important because whenever you're trying to show somebody something, sometimes you don't realize how many steps are involved. And once you record it the first time, like when I'm recording it now, I'm like, wow, 32 slides, really? That's 30. Did I really click 32 times? So after I do it this initial first time, I may rethink what I'm doing, and I might actually want to reduce the steps or clicks in order to make it easier for the user to get what it is that I'm trying to show them, okay? But for this case, I'm going to keep it as is, but it's something to think about, right? Because I didn't know I was going to split it up into 32 clicks. Now, granted, in the end, you did see that I kind of messed up, so I was clicking around, so it's also calculating those clicks. But that's something that you can edit in post. Okay, so it finished now, right? All right, let's check this out. So in this first one, it's just a video. And in this new scene, the view scene, you see it. Let me actually go inside of here, right? Okay, so now I'm inside of this scene. There's two scenes, video scene and view scene. All right, when I double click this slide, it takes me into the scene mode as opposed to the story view mode. Story view mode basically shows me all of the scenes at once. But in this case, I just want to see this particular scene, okay? And I want to see how many steps this was. So I just scroll down. You see 32. 32. Wow. Okay. So once I click on here, let me go ahead and X out of that one. Okay. So let me go back to story view. I don't want to confuse you, but I'm in view scene, which is the step-by-step, the first one. I double click that and I'm in here and I can see all the slides. Now, I want to play this. That way I can see what a user would feel whenever they're viewing the course, the web-based training. So I'm going to go to preview and I'm going to say this scene. Let's check this out. Now it's preparing all of the slides, 1 of 32. So it's going to take its time there. I'm wondering what else it is that I can help you with to sort of help you understand how this works. But we're going to see in a second. Excuse me. I hope this is useful. So I'm preparing the slide, right? We're going back and forth here, 32, 32. Okay, awesome. So I'm not going to do anything right now. All I'm doing is watching myself go through here. And right before I do the action, Storyline inserted these captions, which are blue by the way, before I actually do the action, right? And if you notice on the left hand side on the menu, right here, it actually labeled each slide. You're probably gonna want to change that. I don't think labeling everything click is something smart. But as you can see, I'm not moving this. This is just doing it on its own. It was generated by Storyline based upon that one video. Okay? It's gonna go forth. It's gonna go to the end. You see I'm gonna make a couple mistakes over here, which is fine. Okay? So this is a good example. Let me minimize this. So you have all these slides here and one slide here. So from this initial video, we then broke it up into all these steps with captions. We didn't create those captions. Storyline did. Now, let's take it a step further, okay? Let's go back to record screen. Double click this video. All right, you guys are getting the hang of this. I'm in step-by-step slides. This time, I don't want to say view mode steps. I want to say try mode steps. I'm gonna hit try mode options. I'm gonna say show correct feedback. I'm gonna have all the bells and whistles. And I'm gonna show you what exactly that means. Okay, I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna say insert. Okay, it's doing its thing. It should be the same amount of slides as the last one, which is the first view mode step-by-step video. There it is, 32, right? Now in this case, as opposed to a user just viewing what I was doing, this time they're gonna interact with what they're seeing on screen. Now, one thing to note is that one of the things that you can change is the hotspot. Or hotspot I would define as the area where the user will be able to click on in order to get it correct. So when I was clicking on shoe, there's a certain space around that object or that image that allows the user to click in order for them to get it correctly. Okay, and that's something that we can manipulate on the other side of basically after this. But that's something you're probably gonna have to manipulate that you're not necessarily thinking of. But no worries, it's very easy. We're gonna wait for this to finish. It's creating all the slides. This is kind of like the third phase. A different way of introducing a video simulation to a user. Okay, so it's almost done. Creating slide 31 and 32. Okay, awesome. All right, let's go into this scene. Let's go ahead and scroll down. Yes, I'm right. It created the same quantity of slides. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go back to story view. So just to reiterate, video scene, view scene, this is the try scene. Okay, inside the try scene, I'm just gonna go through here and kind of navigate and show you a couple things. So 3.1, click. You see this green little square? That's that hotspot that I was talking to you about. So if the user clicks like right here in this area, they're gonna get it wrong. They're automatically gonna get it wrong. So what you have to do is increase this all the way out, because it's possible that they may in fact click there as opposed to right dead on the words. But I'm manipulating that afterwards. So this hotspot is generated by Storyline, but I'm modifying it. Okay, so over here in the bottom right, you'll see it's labeled click. It's basically telling you this is the state that it's in when somebody's looking at it. Now, if they get it correct after they click something, when I select this layer, this is the response that they're gonna receive when they do it correctly. Now, if they get it incorrect, this will pop up. It'll say incorrect. Now, these slides here, or these layers, I didn't generate those. That was generated on its own. And if I remember correctly, when I told it to import, I think I told it to give feedback for this. And then here's the hint caption. So let's just say I wanted to modify this and say, click, running. I'm like, yeah, that's really what it should say as opposed to just click. I'm gonna move this down and I'm gonna, let me see here. I'm gonna do this, okay? All right, awesome. So I just modified that one. So I have click, which is the normal state. Then I have correct, if they get it right. This is the try again. And this is the hint caption, which I just modified. Now, while we're here, like I said, I don't want to keep it blue. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say more fill colors. Technically, the color that I'm saying I can't find, the red Halliburton color. So just to let you guys know, it's 204, 0, 0. Actually, it's not in hue and saturation, it's RGB. 204, 0, 0. That's the color we need. Now, let's add that custom color. We'll select that and we'll say okay. So it changed it to the correct red. Okay, awesome. Let's go to the second one. Right off the bat, I want to change that color. I already saved it in my queue here, shape fill. I'll select it. It changed to red. But it's telling us, or telling me, scroll the mouse wheel. Okay? It's not necessarily a step because you see it's not there's no hidden layers here that basically tell me if it's correct or not, but it was in action. So there's something to think about. Let's go back to here, which is click. This is what I was talking about. See how small this is? So even though I clicked on the shoe, it thought that, well, if you clicked here, this is how big the hotspot is. Well, Storyline, I disagree. Let's go ahead and make this bigger. Let's just say, I think, to here. This is the space. He or she may click here or that shoe. Wherever they click here, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, yes, they actually got this right, okay? I'm going to correct. That's fine. Try again. Hint caption, click. I think that's fine, except for the color, right? I'm going to hit red. Okay, so I just modified these first 3 slides. I didn't really create from scratch these captions, but I am modifying them after the fact, okay? So I'm going to preview this scene just as it is. This one's different because it's not just me viewing. It should be me interacting with it. So we'll see how that works. We'll go to preview. This scene, right? Because I want to preview all of the slides within this scene. Okay, so it's going to prepare that. That wasn't too hard, right? It wasn't too hard at all. And it's actually going a lot quicker now. So from that first video, I'm creating quite a bit of content. And I'm having control over the colors and captions and whether, I mean, I could even go back and say, I don't want the incorrect slide to come up, or I don't want a caption here. Whatever's the best use of my time whenever I'm creating something to make the better experience for the user. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Okay, so here we are. Now you see my mouse here. Now the first thing I went to, look at that. When I hover over it, it says click running. When I go off of it, I go back to it, it shows up. So in this particular circumstance or situation, I'm interacting with the video itself as opposed to before. So I'm going to go ahead and click running. It says that I'm correct. I hit continue. Scroll the mouse wheel. I'm going to do that, but it doesn't necessarily test me on that, right? Now, once I've scrolled, then anywhere I hover over here, it gives me the caption, right? Remember, I just left it the way it is, but I did change the color. Now I'm going to click on it, and I should be getting the correct caption coming up or pop up. This is correct. All right, so I'm going to stop here because I think you guys get the point, okay? Now I'm going to hit close preview. I'm pretty satisfied with that, actually. Okay, so I've done 3. Now, let's do one more. Record screen. Double click this. You guys know the routine. Step-by-step slides here. We already did view, try, test. Now in test modes, this is where it gets interesting. I just hit test mode options there. I can say show correct feedback if I wanted, or incorrect. It really depends. I'm going to turn on all the bells and whistles. I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to say new scene, test scene, and I'm going to say insert. Okay. It's probably going to be the same 32 slides, right? I'm not going to change anything at this point, but you may want to in yours, depending on how many different slides it creates within one scene or how complicated it is. Sometimes you may want to simplify a process in order for the user to not only get a better experience, but a lot of times you can get a faster workflow to be able to get the end result, to be able to show somebody how to do it. These are really good because you can go through each phase, show them what it was that you were doing, invite them to do another scene within a web-based training course. And in there, you can have them see what you're doing along with captions so you're helping them. Then they try it and then finally you quiz them. So it's really up to you what it is that you want to do. We're almost finished here. It's going pretty quickly. It's not going to take much longer, guys. I think there's a lot of good information here that you can go back and review whenever you're doing it on your own. Let it be with audio or not. It's almost finished here. One of the things that I also suggest, before you get this far into doing all this work, as soon as you do record and then import that one video into one scene, I highly suggest you go and save the course onto your desktop or your local server, making sure that your file is saved, as opposed to going to this point where I'm at now, where I have made some changes but I haven't saved, right? So I'm gonna go up to the top left, I'm gonna hit save, I'm gonna navigate up, say desktop, and I'm gonna say SL1 test 101 right on a desktop. That's all I'm gonna do. Okay, so practice what you preach, huh? So let me see here. Where is my mouse? Oh, I see. It's saving, so it's acting a little weird. Doesn't want to show me the mouse. Let's wait for it to save. Give it a second there. Still saving. It's really easy. I mean, regardless whether you're recording something in SAP, my mouse is back, or on Google, or an application, or folder structures, anything of that sort, you can do it. Now, let's go into test scene. It's going to be 32 slides. Oh, actually, it's 33. It's 33 because it put in a result slide. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because you're quizzing them, obviously you want them to see the result, right? Okay, so I'm going to minimize it. So you have the video scene, view scene, try scene, and test scene. Let's go to test scene. Oh, let me go back. So these three here are being generated from this first one. That's why it's so important for this to be right. For you to feel confident that this is good. Let's go into test scene. Okay, let's go into hotspot. Notice that what I changed in the try scene with the colors within these three first slides didn't automatically change over here. Notice that? Right? Now, there's no captions because it's a quiz. But I do see that the hotspot is small. Let me move this over here. Can I do that? It's acting weird. I think because I clicked 4 first and wants to put it in that tab. Regardless. So here's 3. Here's the click running. Right? When I hit click, right? Here's that hotspot. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control C. Then I'm gonna go to the quiz, select that one. I'm gonna delete that one. Then I'm gonna hit Control V to paste it. That way my work wasn't for nothing, right? And it doesn't say scroll down because that would be a caption and you're helping them out. So in the quiz, you kind of want to just test them, right? See, that hotspot's wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to hit delete, go to 3, go to that same slide. I see that when I hit, see that's weird. So it remembers the last place where you selected. And right now I have layer selected. And when I click here, when I view here, right here in the timeline, I see that I don't see my hotspot. But what you have to do is click on the base layer, if you will. Then you see the hotspot. Then you can select it. You can copy it. Go back to the other one. Come here. You saw that you deleted it. Now go ahead and paste it. Now it's there. So everything's fine. Okay? I do notice this. It says unassigned here. Show layer. I think it should go under correct. I believe so. Let me double check that. If this is the hotspot and we're here, show layer, hint caption. Where was that? It's this one. Hint caption. Hint caption. Hint caption. I think that's right. Yeah. Oh, wait. It was on 4, not 3. Okay, select that. Show layer. That's interesting. Object trigger. Correct. Hotspot. When they click on this, it's gonna show correct. I'm not sure that's correct. Let's view here. It's not supposed to have that trigger when I copied and pasted it. Yeah, so I think this, I'm gonna delete that. I don't need that. Yeah, now it's consistent, right? See, when I select this hotspot, there shouldn't be an object trigger to that. Okay, so that's very good to know when you're copying and pasting. Okay, so let's X out of those. Go back in here, and I'm gonna say preview this scene. I'm not gonna have any captions, and I have to do it myself because this is now the quiz, right? And I'm not gonna bore you guys to death. I'm not gonna go all the way to the end. I'll do like the first three. Let's see how that goes. Then afterwards, I can wrap this up. This would be very useful for you to go back and use. I know this video is kind of long, but it walks you through everything that you need to know. Okay, so it still gives me this. See, the menu's kind of wrong. See how it's labeled hotspot? I wouldn't label that. In the very beginning, I hit running. It doesn't give me the caption, but it turns into that little hand. It does give me a response. And then now, I have to scroll. Incorrect. Hotspot. Okay. All right, that is not working. The scroll is not working. I think because the second one, you see that? When I go to hotspot, it's incorrect. And I'm not sure why it's doing that. I think because I already clicked it and that's not the next step. Where it says untitled slide, that's when I scrolled. I think it's important that if you want somebody to scroll, that has to be something clickable where you actually click on the scroll bar and scroll down. That's important. Yeah, that's super important because it actually messes things up for you. Now here, when I click this, it should say correct. Incorrect. Interesting. Let's troubleshoot this really quickly. So jump to next slide. There's no user action, it's just the video. And here when I select that, show layer unassigned. So I'm gonna say correct. Yeah, correct, incorrect, and then try again. HubSpot, and it scrolls down. And when I'm here, this should say correct. And I think I need that trigger. I think that's something that I could possibly help you guys with. Let me go back here. If you didn't notice, I just copied that. I right click and I copied that, which is a object trigger for hotspot. And I went to the one where it wasn't working. And then I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna say paste. And it's unassigned. I'm gonna say correct. All right, let's test this theory, shall we? So a little bit of development there, but it shows you how things work. And I think it's important that when I scroll with my mouse wheel, doesn't quite work here. I should have clicked on the scroll bar, but that's one of the things you live and you learn there. It's important though, specifically in this case, but in your cases it may be different, and you probably have to go through the motions to see if it actually makes sense to certain things you're doing. When I hover over it, automatically says correct. That's not cool. Okay. So I'm gonna go here, show layer correct, and I'm gonna delete that again. Submit reaction, player trigger, hotspot. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. This is an interesting one. So I'm not getting the correct response when I click on it. So I fixed the fact that the caption doesn't come up and tell me that I'm automatically right. This is incorrect. Let's go somewhere else. shortcut key. Go to HubSpot. What did I do there? Let me go to one where I know what I did. Oh yeah. Okay. I see. So I click on that. Incorrect. When I click on there, it tells me that that's incorrect. So that's HubSpot. Let's go here. Remember, I clicked that. That was right. And then I clicked on there. So that's a little tricky. See that? This is where I was looking at all those other shoes. Let me go here because I know it. Okay, that's wrong on that third slide. So this is something you're gonna run into, I think. Because that show layer correct is there. So let me delete that. Now, when they click on that, it should show me the correct one. What does this one say? That one doesn't say anything. That's the spot. It doesn't have an object trigger there. I don't see that there. Just like that. The size. Okay. Submit interaction. Hotspot 1. Hotspot 1. Hotspot 1. Hotspot 2. Hotspot 2. Hotspot 1. Okay, that's interesting. Screencast, okay. Come here. Hotspot 1. Hotspot 2, okay. Then jump to next slide. Then here's the second one. Okay, let me try this one more time. I changed a couple things, but not too much. And I'm a little confused as to why this isn't working. Whenever I click over the hotspot, it should say correct. Yeah, because I had all the bells and whistles turned on. So it should give me that feedback. So I'm just trying to work this out, as you may have to as well. Okay. It says incorrect. You know what? I think it's the fact that this is hotspot 1, this is hotspot 2. You know what? I think I should have left it there. You know what? We're going to start this over. This test scene, I don't think it's good. I think we need to do that over again. It's not too hard. We're going to say test, and we're going to say, yeah. View, try, test. We're going to say insert. So I think when I started copying and pasting some of those hotspots, that's what got me in trouble. Because they were linked together, the triggers that existed, the triggers that existed here, and then what I was pasting on the bottom, they got disconnected. Which means I'm probably, and you as well, are gonna have to resize those hotspots manually. If you do a test one, or if you do a try one, you have to resize both of them. Yeah. I wish it didn't do that. Well, okay. We're going to test that theory, but I think I'm right. I think when I copied and pasted that, that wasn't the right thing to do because it messed up the interaction between them, and which means it's going to mess up the results in the end because this is test mode with the quiz. You need to keep them the same. To clarify, you need to keep whatever's existing on the bottom of the timeline with the trigger that's already created. Those two are linked together. Okay. It's almost done. I'm going to change that first one and the third one as far as the hotspots, the size of it. But I'm not going to cut and paste anything like I did before. Okay, it's done. Double click in there. Preview the scene. I'm not going to worry about looking at the trigger and looking at the timeline down here. The trigger's over here. The timeline's over here. Because I know this should work as it is because I haven't modified anything. So, okay, here we go. Making some progress. We hit a hurdle there, which is okay because this is typically how it happens. You think something's gonna go one way, but then it doesn't. But you learn from it. Correct. Okay. All right. Then it automatically plays that. And okay, so it automatically played the scroll by default, which is a little daunting when you're first doing a course like that, because if it's all of a sudden doing something for you when the purpose is for you to be driving sort of the train, and it doesn't, and it kind of goes on its own sometimes, it's a little weird. So I would definitely go back and re-record this video to not include the scroll and to click and drag there. All right, anyways, so I'm gonna click on that. It says incorrect. Ah, that hotspot's here. Yeah, see that? Okay. Okay, this is good. So the good news is the fact that this is working. Bad news is that you're gonna have to resize these things from scratch every single time you make a test scene or try scene. Even though you did it over here, you're gonna have to do it over here in the test scene. Come here. Now that's gonna be fixed now. Yeah, hotspot 1. See, it's labeled hotspot 2. Somehow these two are connected. I know that for sure. Yeah. Okay. This scene. All right, let's let it do its thing. We have progress. I'm kind of bummed that you can't just copy and paste a hotspot after you resize it, because you already did that work, right? And one, and you want to do the other. But this may not be the case in yours if you don't have a quiz. If you're just doing a simulation, a video, and then you're doing a try mode or a test mode. Well, not test. If you're doing a try and a video, which are just two scenarios, then you're just resizing the hotspot once. Not in the video one where you're just showing them what to do, but in the other one where you're guiding them through, right? Okay, so I'm gonna click this. It's gonna be right. Cool. It's gonna scroll down by itself, which is a little weird. And anywhere I click here, I'm gonna click on this shoe and it should be right. Yeah, so success, 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 success. This is awesome. Just to recap, we got video scene, which is the video in itself is just showing you as if you were watching a movie or something. Then you have the view scene with the captions. Then you have the try scene where you're trying it and you'll also have captions, but you have the option to change that. So like, let's just say we don't want a caption on this one. Let's delete that. Yes, I'm sure. And on this one, that one by default it's there, but I can delete that one too if I wanted. And this one, let's go to hint caption. I can right click on this and I can say delete. Let's just say for those specific ones, I didn't want them. All right, let's go to preview the scene. You're gonna see that the first three aren't gonna have captions because I deleted them. It's harder to put them back. I will say that, because you're gonna have to grab a caption from another slide and paste it into that scene. And I know what you're thinking. How do I do that? I will show you after we do this. Okay, so it's not giving me a hint, but it's correct. It doesn't give me the caption. All right, it doesn't give me the caption on this one either. Okay, now I'm on the third one. It doesn't give me the caption, but I'm getting it correct, right? So I have that ability. Now, how do I add those suckers back in? Well, let me go to a section where it has a hint caption. Okay, this one has a hint caption. I'm gonna... Wow. You know what? I'm gonna have to... What would I do? I would copy that. Hint caption. Then I would select this. You know what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to create new trigger. Oh, this is difficult. This will be a little difficult. You know what? I would say leave this alone. If there are certain slides that you don't want to caption, I would say leave that up to me, because this gets really deep into more triggers or whatnot. Sorry about that. Triggers or whatnot. So, I would say leave that up to me. So I'm going to hit cancel. So this is basically how you do it, guys. Very, very simple, easy to do. This time I'm not going to hit escape. You know, actually, I'm just going to save. Thanks again for watching, everybody. And if you're interested in learning more, be sure to search for my channel on Halliburton.tv and subscribe, please. I'll see you next time in my next tutorial.